Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today I am sharing a easy appetizer that is perfect for the holiday season. This appetizer can be put together in minutes and you only need a handful of ingredients. To get started, you need a baguette or a loaf of bread that you can find at your bakery of your grocery store, some extra virgin olive oil, some fresh basil, tomatoes of your choice. I really like tomatoes on the vine, some fresh mozzarella, and then for seasoning, we're simply using some garlic salt and some fresh cracked black pepper. Today I wanted to show you two different variations, so I will be showing you this simple one with just tomatoes, and then I will also be showing you a variation with prosciutto and balsamic glaze. It is so delicious, so I will show you those two ingredients in a little bit. The first step is you want to slice your bread. You can use bigger pieces if that's all you can find, but this size loaf works absolutely perfectly for this. And I like to cut mine at a slight diagonal. So use a serrated knife and just cut 1/2 inch to about 3/4 of an inch thick slices. And we're gonna place these on a cookie tray to toast under the broiler. One of my favorite things about this recipe is that you can scale it up or down very easily. You can just get more bread and more tomatoes and just double the batch if you have a bigger gathering, or you can just make a few slices if it's just for yourself or for yourself and a loved one. Once you have your pieces all cut, you want to spread them out on your cookie tray. And I like to let my tomatoes marinate for just a few minutes, so I slice them up first. I just do a rough dice, and you do want tomatoes that have some flavor. So these tomatoes on the vine are a great choice. You just want something that isn't going to be too bland. Another reason I love this recipe is because it can be as simple or as complicated as you want. Tomatoes marinated in extra virgin olive oil and a little salt and pepper are absolutely delicious, but you could jazz it up and add some balsamic. You could marinate them in Italian dressing. Really, the options are endless. Once your tomatoes are all diced, you want to place them into a bowl, and we're gonna mix up a couple of ingredients to let these marinate, like I said. So I'm adding just a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. It's probably 2 teaspoons if I had to guess. A sprinkling of garlic salt. You can also use just regular salt, and fresh black pepper. Give this a little bit of a stir and then just set it to the side at room temperature to let this work its magic. Now we're ready to start putting everything together. So the first step is we want to make our crostini. So that means we just want to toast our bread. I like to add a little bit of olive oil, and I do this super simply. I drizzle a little bit on, and then I take a brush and spread it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's gonna turn golden and crisp up. Place this under your broiler for 3 to 5 minutes, and then we're gonna take it out and flip these over and do the same exact thing to the other side. These turn golden very quickly under the broiler, so when you have them in there, don't walk away. I've done that one too many times. So we're just flipping these over, adding a little bit more extra virgin olive oil, and we're gonna toss them back in under the broiler for 3 to 5 minutes on the other side. While those are crisping up, I have my fresh washed basil, and I'm just gonna take the leaves off the stem. And these were actually really small basil leaves. Usually they're a little bit bigger and you can roll them more. So I like to chiffonade my basil, which just means to stack them up, roll them into kind of like a tight cigar, and then you just slice them with a sharp knife. So I am rolling this as best I can and then just slicing away. Again, this can be very rustic. It does not need to be perfect. You just want little pieces of basil to sprinkle on top. Now our crostini is toasted up. Our tomatoes are marinating, they are ready to go. Our basil is sliced, and now we just have to add our cheese. So I'm using fresh mozzarella, and if you can find the pre-sliced logs of mozzarella, that will make this even faster for you. You just want to slice pretty thin pieces, and then we're just going to lay this over top of the crostini and pop these under the broiler for another few minutes, just until they are melted. Mozzarella is a perfect cheese to use this for. It is creamy, it's very mild in flavor, and most importantly, it melts beautifully. These go back in the broiler just for a few minutes until that cheese is melted and ooey gooey. We're gonna take this out. I like to add a little bit of extra cracked black pepper over top. It looks really pretty, it adds a nice flavor, and then this is the basis for our crostini appetizer. So I'm gonna show you two different ways. One is going to be with some Italian prosciutto and some balsamic glaze and basil. And then the other one is the more simpler version with just our marinated tomatoes and fresh basil. This makes an excellent appetizer, but actually on this particular night when I made this, my husband and I just had this as a light dinner and it was perfect. So if you want something a little bit more substantial, you can add the prosciutto. I like to just tear small pieces off, and if you buy it from the deli, just ask them to slice it really thin. When I'm making an appetizer like this one, and I'm putting it out for multiple people, I like to make a variation so that people have a choice. So as you can see, I did half with prosciutto, and then I'm doing half with tomatoes. And I'm also gonna place the tomatoes out so that if we want to add more, there's that option. So there's a little bit of a variation. I like to sprinkle the fresh basil right before I set this out to serve. And then last but not least, if you guys have not tried this balsamic glaze, it is in the aisle with the salad dressings usually. It is to die for. A little bit goes a long way. It is sweet and tangy and just adds such a good flavor. I hope you enjoyed this appetizer video. The red and green is so festive, and this is perfect served at room temperature for a crowd or for just a few people. If you are new here, I would love for you to hit that red subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my future videos, and I will see you in the next one.